Hi, I'm Rabbanit Jennifer Geretz's husband, and I'm here today to show you how to make a quick and easy Caesar salad dressing. The most important tool to use when making a Caesar salad dressing is a food processor. The Cuisinart food processors, and I'm using a Cuisinart here, have a pusher with a very small hole in the bottom. And that hole is indispensable when you're making a Caesar salad dressing or also when you're making a homemade mayonnaise. I like to make homemade mayonnaise on Pesach because I prefer to have mayonnaise that's not made with cottonseed oil. And this hole in the bottom of the pusher allows you to dribble in oil at a very slow rate, which is an important skill to have when you're making a mayonnaise or a Caesar salad dressing. What I've done today, because I'm watching my figure and I'm going to be eating salad throughout the week, is I'm making a triple recipe of the salad dressing. I've not actually tried to make a triple recipe yet, so hopefully it's going to come together. And if it doesn't, then I guess I won't have such a tasty, creamy salad dressing this week. In any event, I'm going to give the measurements for a single recipe. Don't be disturbed that you see that the amounts that I'm using are significantly more than a single recipe. I'm making a triple recipe. Anyhow, what we're going to do is we're going to put in the food processor bowl about 3 large cloves of chopped garlic, and you can use 6 smaller cloves. And the amount of garlic that you put in is to your particular taste. How much you like garlic. And I'm going to be putting in also 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. This is store-bought mayonnaise. Hellmann's bring out the best. I'm going to be putting in 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. It's important that you use Dijon mustard and not any other kind of mustard like whole grain. And 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. You can also use rice vinegar. I've used rice vinegar before and it works fine. And I'm also going to put in a good helping of salt. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the cover. I'm making this dressing to be parav, to be able to be eaten with meat meals. If you're going to be making the dressing not to eat with meat meals and you're not Sephardic, you can, if you wish, put in 1 chopped anchovy for depth of taste. And if you can also put in Parmesan, or you can serve your salad with Parmesan. If you're not eating it with a meat meal, the main problem with the anchovy is that normatively people don't eat fish and meat at the same meal. So it would be a problem to have an anchovy in the dressing when you're eating it with meat. And for Sephardim, it would also be a problem to have anchovy in the dressing if you're eating it with dairy. Anyhow, I also wanted to remark that if for some reason you don't have a small hole in the bottom of your pusher stick because you bought a different manufacturer's food processor, that's very easy to remedy. Just drill a 1/8 inch hole in the bottom of your pusher stick and you're all set to go. If you are concerned about using power tools and you've never used a drill before, I'm sure that your wife will be happy to help you by drilling the hole in the bottom of the pusher stick for you. Anyhow, I'm going to put this in. I'm going to start the food processor. It's going to make a little noise. And I'm just going to pour in 1 cup, more or less. I'm sorry, 1/3 of a cup. I'm using 1 cup, but you use 1/3 of a cup of oil. You can use extra virgin olive oil. The main issue I have with extra virgin olive oil is I find that it makes the dressing taste too bitter. So I use a mix of 50% extra virgin olive oil and 50% regular olive oil. And I find that that gives it a nice flavor, but it doesn't make it as bitter as it would be with pure extra virgin olive oil. And we're just going to let it go and take a couple minutes here until all the oil dribbles down. I'm going to go grab a bowl. And the oil is almost done dribbling. It dribbles slower as it gets lower down in the pusher stick because it's got less pressure above it. But it's almost all the way done. And you can't see, but I'll show you when I open the cover of the food processor bowl that it's making a nice creamy dressing. The way this works is almost like making mayonnaise. When you make mayonnaise, it's important to add the oil to the egg slowly, and the egg actually acts as an emulsifier to make sure that the oil and the non-oil part of the dressing do not separate. An emulsifier allows oil to blend in and stay evenly distributed. The reason that there's mayonnaise in this recipe is the same thing. The mayonnaise does have egg in it, and the mayonnaise also acts as an emulsifier in this recipe to make sure that the dressing does not separate. And it's important to dribble in the oil rather than just dumping it in so that it can be incorporated into the mixture slowly and emulsify properly. Okay, we're done here, so I'm going to remove the pusher stick, and I'm going to take the cover off, and I'm going to scrape this out into a bowl, and we're going to finish it up. You can see it's nice and creamy. It's not going to separate here, and we're just going to finish it up. Let's get this out. These are sharp, so be careful when handling them because you do not want to get a cut or an injury. Get this. Okay, and we're going to finish it off with a tiny bit of lemon juice, some more salt. Just don't want to get dressing in the salt. And some pepper. Just give it a couple of mixes and you're good to go. You can serve this over romaine lettuce. You can make homemade croutons. I'm not going to show you how to do that today. It's relatively easy. Or you can buy croutons in the store, which is generally what I do because I am lazy, and serve the whole thing over romaine lettuce. Romaine lettuce, Caesar dressing, and croutons. If it's a milchig meal, you can sprinkle some Parmesan cheese on it. B'tei avon. This is Rabbanit Jennifer Geretz's husband, wishing you a Chag Kasher v'Sameach. Take care.